to appropriate business and let them be contributing positively to the growth of the economy.
Now, I want to ask, sir, what qualifies a business? What puts a business in a particular category? What is medium enterprise? What is a small enterprise? What is a macro enterprise? Yeah.
Yeah, actually, we have what is called nano. Okay. A lot of people really don't consider them, even in the previous classification, and even out of these micro enterprises we are talking about, nano constitutes a lot, because we have between 1 to 5 personnel.
Okay.
Yes, and the turnover is less than 10 million. So these are nano. And from 5 to maybe 10, a little bit, we call them micro.
Okay.
We call them micro. And also from 50, from around 50, we call them small.
Okay.
And we also have medium also, depending on the number of employees. That is what is used in classification. Initially, we look at the turnover also. When the turnover is less than 5 million, it's less than 10 million, it's less than 100 million annually. Yes, so that is what is used in classifying.
So it's safe to say that many people who think they have big businesses are actually small businesses.
They are small businesses. Yes, exactly. They are small businesses. You see, we have a lot of nanos around. We have so many nanos. See, when you talk about nano, a lot of people just think it is just these traders and artisans. Even when you go to even some offices, just everybody there is 5. Everybody there is 4. So they are nano. And this is very, very important when we are doing policies. Because when you just have a general policy on MSMEs, it's going to affect some of these people. Sincerely speaking, so that's why we really look at them and target each category. Each policy should target specific categories to enable them to. What a medium enterprise will survive on, nano will never survive. So if you are using the same yardstick to come up with policies, taxation and things like that, definitely you'll be killing the nanos and the micros. And when the nanos and the micros die, the giants will fall.
Yeah, very
and
true.
they collapse.
Because
their structure is based on the nano. Their foundation is a nano. So once you clear off nano, then they'll collapse.
Wow.
And that is why it is very, very important that we look at these nano businesses, these micro businesses, and help them to survive.
Okay, so in terms of helping them to survive now, I feel like there's a whole lot. If you sit every businessman down, okay, what do you need? We will tell you there's a lot that we need. If we need this and that, but I just want us to, at least for the sake of people, because maybe also have people who are aspiring to come into business, or some people would even understand where they fall into. Because sometimes, as you said, understanding where you stand will also help you, even personally, to determine what should your goals be, what should your targets be, what are your needs, and then how do you scale? Are you even ready to scale to not from nano to medium or to small? So now, as you mentioned that there are various needs, can we highlight some specific needs that apply to nano, medium and small businesses?
Yeah, thank you very much. Like in the real sense, most nanos don't grow.
Okay.
You see, it remains 2 people and for life. And that is what we are trying to break. The nano, because a lot of them, they don't have structure. See, they don't have structure. They don't have business model. So, and there is no way you can grow without structure and model. You understand? What they just do their trade, and that's how make money, produce little documentation, and they are gone. And because of that, that is why we are looking at these people getting attached to coaches and mentors who will help them to develop structure and model, to set goals, which is very, very important. Number 1, to identify what their market structure is like, and also to undergo proper documentation. A lot of them don't have documentation. And with this, it's so difficult to evaluate their performances and to know whether they are growing or not. And because there is no short-term goal, no medium-term goal, no long-term goal, so there is no growth, no mission, no vision. You understand? So, yes, some of these people have been in business for long. Some of them also, maybe they inherit it from their parents, and they still do the same way their parents have been doing it, and they are getting the same result. And that is why a lot of other organizations are coming in to support this nano. One of such organization is NASME, Nigerian Association of Small and Medium Enterprises. We support them in terms of capacity building, coaching and mentoring and things like that. Also, organizations like Mastercard Foundation and Entrepreneurship Development Center, also, they are also supporting them. In fact, EDC has a program they call Transforming Nigerian Youth. This program targets youth between 18 and 35. And what do? They get them together, they take them through entrepreneurial courses, proper business courses, which could have cost nothing less than 200,000 per person. They do it free. And having done that, they also attach mentors to them. Because one thing is that once you have taught them what they need to do, that's the theory. They need somebody to put them through the practical. They need somebody they can talk to at one point in time. So they attach mentors to them who coach them, mentor them, support them from where they are to where they are going. Because the first thing is that you must know where you are, where your business is, and where you want your business to be. So growth is when your business leaves where it is to where it's supposed to be. Either in terms of revenue, in terms of sales, in terms of patronage, in terms of structure. So they help them to identify where they are and where they should be. It's either from 0 to 5 or from 2 to 8. So, and this is what these mentors do. And you see, this is one thing government also should learn to do. You see, when you ask an MSME, even now, that what is your problem? You say money. Yes,
really come to that.
They will not even think twice because say money. But in the actual sense, is it money?
Is it not money?
It's not money.
Because I was actually going to come to that.
Yes,
that's why
most times it's not money, because the money they are talking about is in the business, but don't have the skill to get the money out of the business. That's the problem.
That's what many of us contend with.
Yes,
really. How do we master the art of selling our products and services so regularly that the business can not just survive but thrive? Most times I realize that even for people that appear to be doing well, that maybe through their lifestyle they appear successful, you realize that once there is a minor setback, many of them cannot last 6 months before they fade away, except a miracle happens. So we are struggling. My brother would always say, perhaps the level we are now is simply because of the level of knowledge that we have acquired. That the moment we upgrade this knowledge, we may discover that there are newer things, and that's why I really appreciate this interview, because I am speaking for myself now. How does one get business out of survival mode?
Oh, beautiful. One thing about, you see, most business owners, ask them this question: do you have a business plan? No. When you have a house without a plan, what happens?
It crumbles.
So a lot of them feel it's only when they need a loan that they need to
put
do
all that
business
together.
plan. No, it goes beyond that. The business plan helps you to project into the future of the business. Tells you strategies for sustainability, scalability, and even tells you your succession plan, which is very, very critical. So because these are not in places, the business plan will do your risk analysis before the risk happens. So we'll have given I will have categorized the risk, either medium or low or high, and will have found ways to mitigate the risk even before the risk appear. So, but you see, when this is not in place and you just fall into the risk accidentally, it's so difficult to scale through. And this is a problem with so many businesses, because in that case, once you have a business plan, right business plan in place, and you follow some of these business strategies, because we must have strategies. We have the business, we must have strategies in place to take you from where you are to where you are going. Why most businesses at times could not weather the storms is because there is no preparation for storm. Because they are not expecting storms. So there is no deep risk analysis, no risk management system. And that is what happens. So putting in a risk analysis system, you know, okay, assuming dollar becomes 1,000, I think 1,700, 1,700 something.
Yeah.
Now, what's going to happen to my business? Assuming there's an inflation, what's going to happen to my business? So you thinking that even before you start the business or before that issue happens, one thing about business, I must be able to project into the future and take proactive steps, not waiting until it happens. You preempt situations and you work to devise strategies to address them. So, and that is why even some businesses also, that's why they have been on for some time, they find it difficult to weather the storm. There's always a place for change management. Like presently in this current economy now, you discover that most businesses, the cost of production is very, very high.
Yes.
So you have to devise strategies to reduce cost. There must be a lot of things that you may have to address in the operation system to ensure that despite that fact, your business is still competitive, because we are targeting the same market. So you really have to look back into your operations. Are there roles that two people play? Are there roles that are there roles that a single person can play and you're having three people playing the roles? So you have to look at it. You may have to look at your process flow. Is there a duplication of process? Is there any part of this process that consumes so much? Then how do we reduce it? And you see, also have to look at it that, okay, all these units, how many of these units are contributing to overall productivity of this? Very, very important. Yes. And to what extent are they contributing? So the issue of 20-80, this 80-20 Pareto law comes in, because there are a lot of activities within the organizations that take 80% of the resources and they're only contributing 20% to the output. And there are certain activities that are only 20% resources and they are the ones that are responsible for the 80% of the so what do? You reorganize, you re-engineer, and if you have to match some units, you do, because change management is very, very critical even in this economic setting, so that eventually you be able to improve productivity, you also be able to save cost and become and remain competitive in the business.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. That's quite deep. I just wish we have people, listening and taking notes on all this. There's something that comes to mind, when we, just as I said, a lot of people are operating on the nano level, and then you have a lot of people we say we have a business, but you see we have you will see a lot of memes on social media right now, like somebody will say, oh, when you address your email, oh, we are working on it, or we are, and then the we is the same person, let's say for a photography brand, for instance, because we all call it brand now, the same photographer is the one who is the creative director, at the same time is also one managing client, at the same time is the one sourcing for clients, and then it's exactly the market,
the operation manager, GM and
everything. And I'm thinking, okay, so a lot of people are in the stage actually.
Yeah, that is very true. You see, it's always a starting point. At one point in time, you have to be so many things. But you still have to put that structure in place. You understand? And as you begin to grow, you begin to fit in. And the truth is that Yoruba says "Akonle ni for man, and the only share ni merin." You will discover that you won't be fit into all this. And that is why that's why in this era of technology, we have some AI tools, some applications that may help to do one or two things. And also, otherwise, you can outsource. Like I was talking to a client yesterday, I said, you cannot be accountant, cannot be this and that at the same time. No. Number one, doing those things, you are depriving yourself of the time and the resources to grow the business. It won't grow. Such business will find it very difficult to grow. You must be able to develop a structure in place. And if you don't have enough fund to employ, you can outsource. The accountant will just come once in a week and will go to your and help you to put your record straight. The HR person will just come once in a month. You don't even need to worry yourself about hiring or firing. Just get to it. And because you are nano, he knows you are nano. So he's not going to charge you what is charging the big companies. So already you can then face your operation as the operational manager and move it forward. So when there's a need for HR, the HR person will respond. So also when it comes to customer service and co, of course you can outsource. So one way or the other, let them bring the customers, let them have their own share, and you have your own share. So you focus on doing the quality job, because by the time you are bringing customer, you are doing this, you will discover that the time you are supposed to finish a job, you will not be able to meet up. You have 5 jobs. In the course of doing that job, you leave it to go and look for customer, you leave it to go and attend to this, you need to go and attend to that. At the end of the day, you will not be able to meet up with the delivery challenge. So eventually, the client gets angry, he walks away. He gets angry, he walks away. So that is the thing. So it's not just trying to do everything. Focus on your area and engage others, either outsourcing or whatever it is. It helps to grow the business faster. That actually is a mistake most business owners are doing at Nano. They want to be everything. Some because they don't want people to cheat them. They want their eyes
to maximize.
Yes, or they don't want to pay.
They want to keep more money for themselves,
and then they will not be able to make more money.
Now, would you consider, because everything you said is wonderful, but have we factored in the peculiarities of doing business in Nigeria? I mean, I consider Aliko Dangote a mentor, at least from afar, and he said 8 years after that if he knew the challenges he would face regarding setting up a refinery, he would not have done it. All right. Now, when we talk about public-private partnership, I mean, I read the news a few times, and sometimes I ask myself, want to get to a point where all of us will just go to Walter Carrington and say, America, please, we're tired of this country. Because if someone who is that comfortable, who is that wealthy, who is that knowledgeable, right, is still facing challenges, what then is the hope for people like us that started a few years back?
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, when we look at doing business, there is nothing that doesn't have challenge. There is no stage you get to that there will be no challenge. Its challenges are part of life. So even in business, at any level, you have challenges, and that's why preparation is very, very important. I talk about being, proactive, being able to project some challenges that could come. So definitely, Dangote at that level, a lot of people see him as a successful. He's successful, but there are also challenges that are associated with success. Even when you are moving from nano to micro, you have challenges. Now you have been managing it alone. You have been doing it. Now you have to employ 2 or 3 people. You have challenges of managing human resources. You have challenges of managing production. You have challenges of managing customers and things like that. So at each level there are challenges, and there is no country in the world that doesn't have challenges. So the thing is not because there are challenges you are going to quit. In fact, you are an entrepreneur because you are a risk taker. It's not the reason to quit, because when you quit, others will do what? They take over. And you have only made it easier for others to share your customers and increase their own productivity. So yes, if the terrain, just like snail, certain times snail can go into their shell and you see they cover it with seeds, but that snail is not dead. Let there be little water, the snail will come up. Yes, they may get to a point that you may look at this decision: do I downsize? Do I downsize? Which most companies are doing now, because the operation cost is too high. So a lot of them are downsizing. A lot of them say, okay, now come, instead of me having 2 people to work, let me increase your salary a little bit, and you do the 2 functions. The guy will be happy, isn't he? He will be happy. And one way or the other, yes, it's just like going into a little bit, but not really completely off, because by the time there is an improvement in the ecosystem, it's very difficult for you to come in if you back out. So that's why I said it is important as an entrepreneur. One of the qualities of an entrepreneur is for you to be persistent and to be able to persevere. It's very, very important, because definitely you are going to wither storms. It's all about risk. And it's all about managing risk successfully, and that is why data is very, very important. You must be able to get enough information that will help you to make a wise decision.
Now, let's talk about NASME. What are the challenges that you contend with in your day-to-day interactions with business owners, particularly the nano and the micro and nano business owners?
Yes, actually, in our interaction with nano and micro businesses, actually, one thing I've also noticed about a good number of them, to be candid, is that a lot of them, some of them are just about what we can grab. Let government give us money. But when you give them money, what do you do with the money? That's the question. So a lot of them, whenever there's any program that is going to benefit them, if money is not involved, they will tell you they're not interested. So they have valued money more than knowledge and skills, and that is why a lot of them are having serious challenges. Because that's why I said, when you ask them what's your problem, they say we need money. Yes, they need money, but money actually, they also need skills. With the skills, they can organize their business and make money. Yes, they could need money, but if they don't know how to manage the money, eventually it's going to be a problem to them. And that's why when some of them get some assistance, ask them after years, what have they done with the assistance? No. So if people are going, even if they are going to be supported with fund, let them also get coaches that will help them to grow their business, to utilize the fund effectively. Because a lot of them also, they don't really have the ability to utilize the fund effectively. Some of them even don't even have what it takes to get credit or fund. Yes, and that's another issue. Some of them don't really have credibility. Some of them also, they don't have capacity. Okay, somebody will tell you, okay, now maybe presently now your old sales is about 5 million in a year, and you are looking for a loan of 20 million. Who will give you? Who will give you? To do what? So a lot of them don't have capacity to manage what they're asking for. They don't have the structure in place. They don't have the skill. So that is why we feel, let's start with the structure, the skill, build the capacity. When you get the capacity, when the money comes, you know how to handle it. So the first thing they tell you is give us money. So you ask them to come for capacity building. Say, well, are you going to give us money? If money is not involved, they are not coming. And it's a major challenge. It's a major challenge, and it's about mindset. See, this mindset of national cake is a serious mindset. It's a mindset. We have a program in one state, and we are meant to train some agripreneurs to take them to entrepreneurship training. And the first thing they ask us that, are they giving us money? We said no, we are not contracted to give you money. but to train you on how you can move your business forward, how your business can generate money that can help you to survive. You understand? And that is the key thing, and that is more reason why even the nano should take this skill. Number one, they don't even know what they need to survive. They don't know what they need to break even. They don't know the volume of goods they have to sell to live. And that's the problem with you, because if you know, okay, like now I'm selling 20 cartons per week, this is what I'm having. Okay, this is my budget for the year, this is what I need to survive. Now how many cartons will I need to sell to attain that? If you now understand that and you go for a funding, you know why you are taking a fund, because you have a target that you are going to sell so quantity at so period, because it is based on that you can survive. And these are the factors that they don't understand, that we try to teach nano. It is not just doing business, but doing business strategically, doing business to enable you to meet your livelihood, to generate enough fund to meet your livelihood. So that when you ask them how much to win, some of them will just tell you a certain amount of money that you know they don't need. And when it comes to the issue of integrity test, a lot of them don't pass integrity test. Because if anybody is going to give you credit, number one, the person want to look, do you have the credibility? Just look at this, how do I call it, this online lending. You see how much so many nanos have borrowed and you don't pay. And these are integrity tests. So you see, we have to look at so many things to really work on this ecosystem. Number one, there has to be, how do I call it, mental reprogramming. Sincerely speaking, the mindset of people must change about business fund. Some of them, they don't know the difference between the business fund and personal fund. So somebody that cannot separate his personal money from business money, if you give that person a loan, I doubt if that person is going to pay it back, because he has seen business money as his money. And which is a major problem with nano. They have not been able to separate their business from themselves. That the business is an entity, they are also different entity. The business should have account, they should also have a separate account, so that when money comes into business, let it go to business account. And after you taking your profit from your cost from your sales, you get your profit. Then for your profit, you can then determine what actually should be your own part of the gain, and what are you plowing back into the business. And actually, what I normally recommend is that put yourself on salary, not what you should get, but what your business can afford to pay you. And this is another problem. Maybe of course, when he was working, he was earning, let's say, 500,000 per month. He has now started the business. Your business cannot pay you 50,000 per month, to be realistic. So what you settle with something very small and grow the business to that level that it can pay you that. But at the initial stage, it won't be. So if you want to be earning what you are earning there, that business will die. And that's one of those reasons businesses die within 5 years. So you must be able to separate business from yourself. Give yourself a salary that is reasonable and that is practical, that the business can afford. A lot of people, they pay themselves more than what the business can afford, and eventually it is business that will suffer. So after 2 or 3 years, the business will die. And that's why it's important for you to really understand some of these principles, that you must separate your business from yourself.
Thank you.
And that's the major problem of nano too. I think I've answered your question.
Yes, you have. Yes,
Thank
you
you
have
very
answered my
much, sir.
question. This
We'll just want to mention that in case we have anybody who has a question or wants to join this conversation, our studio lines are 0916 893 1000 or 0916 893 2000. I'll take it again: 0916 893 1000 and 0916 893 2000.
What we discussed last is something that so many people contend with. How to place yourself on the salary when you're doing all the work. All right, and especially because of the slow growth rate of businesses in Nigeria, you may find out that for 5 years, 6 years, the business may still, you might be breaking even, but it may not be fantastic. And for people who have personal views, all right, that are choky, that are stifling, they find it so hard to think of, okay, when I'm at work, I'm a businessman. When I'm going home, there has to be a dichotomy, and I respect that. It's just that I still think a lot of sensitization needs to be done regarding that. Even the family that the person stems from should understand that. For example, if a person, say, borrows money to travel abroad in search of greener pastures, they should treat that move as a business move.
Exactly.
He has to raise the money to pay back first.
Exactly.
All right. So he has to keep just a bit for his survival.
Exactly.
But you find out that if he doesn't send money home in 3 months, all right, they start calling him brothers, sisters, fathers, mothers. And then you realize that eventually 10 years after, he still cannot do big things. It may be he may still post fresh photos that appear, he's abroad, but he can't do big things simply because the people around him cannot understand that this guy needs to make, they're not knowledgeable enough. And I think you talked about the mindset problem. We are too focused on money as Nigerians. The average Nigerian worships money.
Yeah.
The only reason why many people enter certain businesses is because I can make money. All right. We also do mentoring for youths, and we realize that when they try it for a while and it doesn't blossom, when you start seeing what they're posting, sometimes I have to ask them, the things you post, I've even forgotten that you were in this industry. How do people know that? Because their subconscious is they want to live the fast life.
Exactly.
All right, and everybody sings Bonfello, be so person, that person, but the sacrifices that those people made, they don't want to make it.
Yeah, exactly.
We have to put ourselves on a salary. All right, you have to mentally tell yourself, okay, I can't enjoy this pleasures because I'm trying to scale my business.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, and I want to believe, you've mentioned it, that NASME is doing a great work on that. What do you think government can do? What do you think even Nollywood can do to change people's mindset regarding money?
The actual Nollywood you have mentioned is a really big thing. You see, the issue, I could remember when we were growing young, media played very significant role in people's mindset. They will tell you in those days that they will tell you that. They tell you madale soju popo, ma se soju titi. You see, and you keep hearing that all the time, which forms part of your value. The truth is that we have lost our value as a nation. The value, the heritage that our parents gave to us, we have lost. In those days, sir, if your father knows what your salary is, and you have come with a car that he knows your salary can, you will not bless that car. You will not bless that car. He will ask you, how did you get the money?
Yes.
I even remember that in those days, when you get your first salary, you share, you take it home. Okay, this is my first salary. They just share everything, and and they pray for you.
Yes.
And that blessing keeps you going. So what am I saying? See, the issue of wealth is a process. Making money is a process, and there is no aspect of the process that can be jumped or escaped. You have to follow through to get there. If you don't follow through, you will not get there. So you see, I understand that a lot of our youth are in a hurry to make money, and that's why you see a lot of things also happening in our society. There is no way you start a business. You cannot give back to a child one day and that child will start running. Business is like a child. You give back to that child, you nurture that child, and he start crawling. After crawling, he struggles to stand. After standing, he starts walking, and after walking, he can then run. But a baby will not run. So you see, and that is the process of a business. You incubate like a pregnant woman. That's when you're in the incubation stage. And what you do, you are inspired to start something. That's a start. And you nurture with some of these strategies over a period of time, analyzing result at each level, evaluating performance at each level, also looking at your cost and also analyzing your cost. How much have I spent on this week? How much did I spend last week? Why am I spending more this week? And these are things that people don't really look into. Before they realize it, there are a lot of errors that are accumulated. So these are processes that has to be followed, and that's why mentoring is also still very, very important. And that's why government actually has a lot of role to play. Number one, using media to sensitize people that business, you don't just make money overnight. It's a process. And if you don't follow the process, you will crash. You will crash. If you get there, you will crash. Just like somebody that decided not to go to secondary school and did not go through home tutor. No, there are some people, they don't go to school, they will go through home tutor.
Yes.
No home tutor, nothing. You just jump to university. How do you do it? It doesn't work that way. Even if they buy admission, they will send the person out. So that is why the process is very, very important. And our Nollywood people, they have given the impression generally that, you see, if you don't make money, you are not somebody. And you see, they show a lot of, and also it's very, very important that these celebrities, these people that have made money through process, should come out and tell the younger ones the process they go through. You see, the problem with a lot of us as parents, we cause it. You see, our children don't know how we get to where we got to, and we didn't show them the process. Just say daddy has made money, but they did not know when daddy was in one room apartment. They did not know when daddy will go to work and not. We give them the impression that everything is well, and that's a major problem. Parenting. Parents should let their children understand the process they went through to get to where they are. That they don't get to where they are by chance. We should also learn to share with them our mistakes along the line, so that they also know that we are also tempted like them. And maybe we are even trying to take shortcuts and we couldn't make, you have to go back to the number. So let them know, so that they don't just believe that daddy woke up overnight and made this money. So it is very, very important that sensitization should be done. And the media, they are critical stakeholders. Parents are also critical stakeholders. And also the government also has a lot to do in this area also, because we celebrate people that made money without celebrating process. So when we start to celebrate process, people understand that the money does not come anyhow. It comes through a process. And the issue of government also recruiting business development coaches to support these young ones is very, very important. You see, at times some of these people say they were doing empowerment. You gave them a lot of machine. The moment you leave, they go and sell and get the money to feed. So what's the purpose? See, another thing, when we have program, I'm sorry to, because I happen to be an M&E person, monitoring and evaluation. I discovered that what we are actually monitoring, their output, not outcome. See, there's something we call output, there's something called outcome, there's something called impact. Even when we have a government program, what do we monitor? Did they do the program? Yes. Did they do the training? Yes. How many people that were there to show us pictures? Fine. But what has the training translated into? That's the outcome. We don't measure. How many of those people that have done that are still doing them? You understand? What changes have occurred because of the training? We don't do that. So it's very, very important that we begin to look at outcome of our programs. And with this, actually, I believe that children, they will understand that there's a process to making money, and people will be willing to follow the process.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir. I think we've actually I like the way we transited from just talking about entrepreneurship generally, and then bringing it down to the, to the basics of it, because this is the basics of it. They say charity begins at home.
Exactly.
And if you don't get it from the home, from when you're from your mindset, as a young person growing up, if you don't get that mindset right, there is no way it will affect everything you do, even if it's not entrepreneurship, even if it is you working in a government player, maybe in an employment paid employment, because if you have a fast mindset of cutting corners, you will definitely involve in shady deals, and this will end up being you end up with corrupt practices and all that. So I like the way we ended this conversation on the basic, and I believe that this is something to take home. Even the movies, I see a lot of movies where right now, maybe because of the aesthetics of it, you say someone is an employed person working in an office, and then you use an apartment that we all know that these apartments are actually luxury apartments. I know it's beautiful for the film, it's aesthetics for people watching abroad, for white people, foreign people, but it doesn't really tell the true story of our, and people is selling a wrong mindset.
So if you're at this level, you must be able to afford that.
I mean, what's the average salary of someone?
Afford that, you are not
even in Lagos, maybe you're earning 400, 500,000, and then you're using an apartment that.
Thank you so much, sir,
for being here with us. In case people want to, is there any way anyone can reach you for further mentorship? Very, very fast, please.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I'm a licensed business development service provider. I do a lot of coaching and mentoring. Yes. Presently, I have not less than 50 youths and women that I mentor on regular basis. I have nothing less than 10 sessions every week with various people, with various categories of people.
How can they?
So they can reach me. My number is 08160831342.
Okay.
My email is johnkarunwi@gmail.com.
Okay.
And also I have my office in Old Kingsway building, Precious Stone Multi Ventures. I will also support agricultural entrepreneurship. We do that a lot.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming.